Good afternoon, my conscious co-creators. Welcome to another edition of the Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity. You have no idea how happy I am to be here with you today. We've got another wonderful, amazing show in store for you. And we are, of course, as always, streaming on Facebook Live. You can always catch the Facebook video on facebook.com/Talkradio.nyc on my personal timeline or at facebook.com/Conscious Consultant. We've got a great show. I just got back in town. I was off on the left coast for a few days, so you'll forgive me if I make any mistakes today. I'm still working off of Californian time, so I'm not 100% on the way. Welcome, Roger and Jonathan, to the Facebook live stream. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm going to flip around the camera here on the Facebook live stream. Oops, let's get the wire out of the way, and let's get this on our guest. So this way you guys don't have to look at me. There we go. I don't know why it does. Okay, so it is my pleasure now to introduce to you intuitive healer and shamanic practitioner, Jacques Buchering. I had it right before, and then just in the moment I missed.
Burger King without the K.
Burger King. Oh, Burger King without the K. I like that.
Yeah.
So Jacques believes that the basis for every healing is that there is a safe, caring, compassionate environment, a place filled with unconditional love, energy, and respect. As an energy healer and shamanic practitioner, he's dedicated to helping people overcome obstacles while compassionately guiding them through spiritual, emotional, and physical challenges. Welcome to the Conscious Consultant Hour.
Great to be here.
Great to have you. Great to have you. And I really want to pay our respects to Elaine Woodall, who was on my show several years ago, who was an amazing intuitive healer, who passed away. How long ago was it?
It's now 2 years ago.
2 years.
July 2 years. Yep.
And that's how we got connected, because you ended up helping her towards the end and taking over and kind of helping her clients in her practice. So I really want to honor her in the hereafter, as they say, because I know her spirit is still with us.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful. So I always like to start off, Jacques, with some background, just to kind of give our audience some context in which to understand our guests. So you don't seem like you're from South America to me, so somehow I don't
really.
So somehow I don't think you were born into the shamanistic tradition.
Yes and no. Like in this life, definitely not.
Okay.
But other lives, definitely yes.
Okay.
But in terms of like this life, I grew up in Holland. And came here 25 years ago to pursue a dance career. And the dance career really was, for me, like, it was kind of like the starting point of my shamanic journey, although I didn't know it. I basically saw the Martha Graham dance company perform in Holland.
Oh, sure, they're great.
And they were fabulous. And I saw them 2 days in a row. And after that, I was so taken by it, by what happened on stage. There was such intensity and such beauty and such integrity that I was like, there's something there that this is what I need to do. And so after the performance, I asked the dancers, how do you become a dancer? Because like I was an athlete at the time, a decathlon athlete. And I said, how do you become a dancer? Oh, the guy said, it's very simple. You just go to New York and you take classes and that's it.
Well, very simple, but they didn't say it was easy, did they?
No, they didn't say that. Martha Graham also said that it takes 10 years to build a dancer, and it did. It took 10 years. And during the years that I performed, I was always looking for that sensation of like that life force that was going through everything that I had experienced that first time in the Martha Graham company. And the interesting thing is that I actually really found that in her former husband, Eric Hawkins, and who I started studying with and ended up in the company at a certain point as well.
Okay, so you come to New York.
Yep.
How long did you study to be a dancer?
Let me see. I had a dance career for about 15 years.
15 years.
16 years.
So you studied and then you became a performer.
Yep.
You performed in New York, I'm assuming, other places as well.
Outside. Yep.
And why did you stop becoming a dancer?
Well, I was married, got beautiful kids, and and at a certain point it was like the bank that was screaming, something else needs to happen.
Right.
And so I became the artistic director of the National Museum of Dance in Saratoga Springs.
Oh, wow.
Worked there for a while, tried to heal that place.
Okay.
And then came back to New York, started like studying yoga because like I had stopped dancing and stopped teaching at a certain point, and when I had done my yoga teacher training, one of my yoga buddies actually said something about a Vedic astrologer, and I was like, oh, well, that fits right into my yoga. I was like, okay.
Okay.
So I contacted the woman, and we had a wonderful conversation, but at the end, she said, I don't know why I say this, but you have to do something with shamanism. And I was like, she said, well, just look in the city where you are, like if there's something, and then, just take a course and see what's happening. And so I did, and I found Itzhak Beery's course at the Open Center, and I got just pulled into it right away. And it was fantastic, and those 6, 7, 8 weeks that I worked with him here in New York, that really like set me off on a path of shamanism. I was like, this is what I need to do.
And for those of you who don't remember, we had Itzhak Beery on the show just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, so like just really recently. So if you missed that interview, it's on the archives. It's on the website. Go to Talkradio.nyc and you can catch it. But Itzhak is wonderful. I mean, he's been teaching people and working in the shamanism for years. Yeah,
he's really been my guiding force in the years, like starting from that moment.
So, like after you took that first class, like, did you know this was something that you wanted to do, or just was it more you were just like curious and like, oh, this is interesting, let me learn a little more?
Well, Itzhak used me as his guinea pig in class.
Which can be an enviable and unenviable position to be in.
Exactly, because he did Olympia at the end of those weeks. And he said, oh, do you want to do the Olympia? I said, sure. And he said, well, then you have to take off all your clothes. I was like, okay, well, I guess I didn't prepare what I was going to wear at the end of the day for this session. So yeah, so it was, but it was an amazing experience, and I really felt like in the depth of my soul that this is what I needed to do, and this is what I wanted to do. And not only like just for myself, because like the course was set up like as learning a ritual and learning like a healing method, but it also I really felt it was a great way of like developing myself as a human being as well, and that it really gave me a lot of like tools to do that. And as soon as I had done it, I was like, I want to do more of this. And out of that, I actually started, like, when I was working with Itzhak in different configurations, I started figuring out that this is really like something that I wanted to bring to more people than just only keeping for myself. It's great to develop yourself as an individual and as a human being, but in the end, it doesn't stop. The buck doesn't stop there, you know. And as you say, like I said earlier in the introduction, you attract people, and when you start like developing that energy within yourself and opening yourself up and like getting rid of old stuff, then you also start to like attract people that want to hear more of that, and that that you want to share that information and that experience with.
Right.
So
okay, so let's hold the thought there.
Yep.
We're going to go take our first commercial break, and when we come back, let's get into a little bit of like how you started your practice, like what made you decide to actually work with people, and maybe we can talk about some experiences that you had then. Okay.
Sounds good.
So everybody, please stay tuned. You're listening to the Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity. My guest this hour is Jacques Burgering, and of course, if you want to call in and ask your own questions, the call-in number is 877-480-4120. We'll be back right after these messages.